Hi, guys. Okay, so we're going to start reading book 2 of the Magic Tree House, and it's called The Night at Dawn. As you will remember, we read the first book a while ago, and it was called The Dinosaurs Before Dark. So, as a refresher, we have this little brother and sister pair, Jack and Annie, and they find a tree house up in a tree, and it turns out it's magical, and it takes them places. So here we go. Book number 2, The Magic Treehouse, The Night at Dawn. So as a reminder, this is the front cover. This is the back cover. This is the spine of the book. Then we open it up, and when you have a chapter book, you have what's called a table of contents, and it lists the name of each chapter. Chapter 1. Here's the picture. That looks like Jack. Chapter 1. The Dark Woods. Jack couldn't sleep. He put his glasses on. He looked at the clock. It was 5:30. Too early to get up. Yesterday so many strange things had happened. Now he was trying to figure them out. He turned on the light. He picked up his notebook. He looked at the list he'd made before going to bed. There's the picture again. See? Got a little pad there. Pencil. So this is the list. Found treehouse in woods. Found lots of books in it. Pointed to pteranodon picture in book. Made a wish. Went to time of dinosaurs. Pointed to a picture of Frog Creek woods. Made a wish. Came home to Frog Creek. Jack pushed his glasses into place. Who was going to believe any of this? His mom wouldn't believe it. Neither would his dad or his third-grade teacher, Mrs. Watkins. Only his 7-year-old sister Annie understood. She'd gone with him to the time of the dinosaurs. "Can't you sleep?" Annie was standing in the doorway. "Nope," said Jack. "Me neither," said Annie. "What are you doing?" She walked over to Jack and looked at his notebook. She read the list. "Aren't you going to write about the gold medal?" she asked. "You mean the gold medallion?" said Jack. He picked up his pencil and wrote, "Found this in the dinosaur time." So this, kind of hard to tell, is the list that Jack wrote. And then he added the last thing. Found this in dinosaur time. And he makes like a picture of, looks like a gold medallion. "Aren't you going to put the letter M on the medal?" said Annie. "Medallion," said Jack. "Not medal." He added an M. "Aren't you going to write about the magic person?" said Annie. "We don't know for sure there is a magic person," said Jack. "Well, someone built the treehouse in the woods, and someone put the books in it. Someone lost a gold medal in dinosaur times," said Annie. "Medallion," said Jack for the third time. "And I'm just writing the facts, the stuff we know for sure." "Let's go back to the treehouse right now," said Annie, "and find out if the magic person is a fact." "Are you nuts?" said Jack. "The sun's not even up yet." "Come on," said Annie. "Maybe we can catch them sleeping." "I don't think we should go there," said Jack. He was worried. What if the magic person was mean? What if he or she didn't want kids to know about the treehouse? "Well, I'm going," said Annie. Jack looked out his window at the dark gray sky. It was almost dawn. He sighed. "Okay, go get dressed. I'll meet you at the back door. Be quiet." "Yay!" Annie whispered. She tiptoed away as quietly as a mouse. Jack put on jeans, a warm sweatshirt, and sneakers. He tossed his notebook and pencil in his backpack. He crept downstairs. Annie was waiting by the back door. She shined a flashlight in Jack's face. "Ta-da! A magic wand," she said. "Shh! Don't wake up Mom and Dad," whispered Jack. "And turn that flashlight off. We don't want anyone to see us." Annie nodded and turned the flashlight off. Then she clipped it onto her belt. Jack and Annie slipped out the door into the cool, early morning air. Crickets were chirping. The next door dog barked. "Quiet, Henry," whispered Annie. Henry stopped barking. Animals always seemed to do what Annie said. "Let's run," said Jack. Jack and Annie dashed across the dark, wet lawn and didn't stop until they reached the Frog Creek woods. "We need the flashlight now," said Jack. Annie took it off her belt and switched it on. Step by step, she and Jack walked between the trees. Jack held his breath. The dark woods were a little scary. "Gotcha," said Annie, shining the flashlight in Jack's face. Jack jumped back. Then he frowned. "Cut it out," he said. "I scared you," said Annie. Jack glared at her. "Stop pretending," he whispered. "This is serious." Okay. Annie shined her flashlight into the tops of the tree. "Now what are you doing?" said Jack. "Looking for the tree house." The light stopped moving. The mysterious tree house sat high in the branches of the tallest tree in the woods. Annie shined her light down the long rope ladder. So there's the tree house. See the rope ladder? "I'm going up," she said. Still holding the flashlight, she began to climb. "Wait!" Jack called. "What if someone was in the tree house? Annie, come back!" But Annie was gone. The light had disappeared. Jack was alone in the dark. Chapter 2. "Annie!" Jack shouted. "No one's here," she shouted back. Jack thought about going home. Then he thought about all the books in the treehouse. He started up the ladder. When he was almost at the top, he saw light in the distant sky. Dawn was starting to break. Jack crawled through a hole in the treehouse floor and took off his backpack. Annie shined her flashlight on the books scattered across the floor. "They're still here," she said. Annie shined the light on a dinosaur book. It was the book that had taken them to the time of the dinosaurs. "Remember the Tyrannosaurus Rex?" asked Annie. Jack shuddered. Of course he remembered. How could anyone forget seeing a real live Tyrannosaurus Rex? The light fell on a book about Pennsylvania. Red silk bookmark stuck out of it. "Remember the picture of Frog Creek?" said Annie. "Of course," said Jack. "That was the picture that had brought them home." "That's my favorite," said Annie. The light was shining on a book about knights and castles. There was a blue leather bookmark in it. Annie turned to the page with the bookmark. There was a picture of a knight on a black horse. He was riding toward a castle. "Annie, close that book," said Jack. "I know what you're thinking." Annie pointed at the cover. "Don't, Annie," said Jack. "We wish we could go there," Annie said. "No, we don't," shouted Jack. The wind began to moan. The leaves began to tremble. It was happening again. "We're leaving," cried Annie. "Get down." The wind moaned louder. The leaves shook harder. Jack squeezed his eyes shut. The tree house started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Jack opened his eyes. He shivered. The air was damp and cool. The sound of a horse's whinny came from below. "Nay!" "I think we're here," whispered Annie. She was still holding the castle book. Jack peered out the window. A huge castle loomed out of the fog. Jack looked around. The tree house was in a different oak tree. "Look," said Annie. Down below, a knight on a black horse was riding by. "Oh, man," said Jack. "That's incredible. But we can't stay here. We have to go home and make a plan first." Picked up the book about Pennsylvania. He opened it to the page with the red silk bookmark. He pointed to the photograph of Frog Creek woods. "I wish—" "No," said Annie. She yanked the book away from him. "Let's stay. I want to visit the castle." "You're nuts. We need to examine the situation," said Jack, "from home." "Let's examine it here," said Annie. So here's a picture of what they see out the window. You see the castle, and I don't know if you can see, but they can see the knight on a horse. "Come on, Annie." Jack held his hand. "Give it." Annie gave Jack the book. "Okay, you can go home, but I'm staying," she said. She clipped the flashlight to her belt. "Wait," said Jack. "I'm going to go take a peek, a tiny peek," she said, and she scooted down the ladder. Jack groaned. Okay, Annie won. He couldn't leave without her. Besides, he sort of wanted to take a peek himself. Jack put down the book about Pennsylvania. He dropped the castle book into his pack. He stepped onto the ladder and headed into the misty, cool air. Okay, so I guess Jack and Annie are now in the time of the Knights. So we read the first 2 chapters. I'll read some more later. Bye.